Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of HermitCraft Feed the Beast Unleashed. Oh, yeah.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of HermitCraft Feed the Beast Unleashed. Oh yeah. So yeah, I was messing around with some more computer craft stuff and I found this speaker. This is from Miscellaneous Peripherals, and this is kind of cool. You can tell a computer to actually vocalize some text, which I thought was really awesome. You can do this pretty simply. All you gotta do is just go into Lua, do a peripheral.wrap, the side it's on right, and you can just say speak, and then you can just tell it what to say. And for instance, we'll just say hello.
Hello.
Pretty easy. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be putting these around a lot, but they're very simple to do for a greeting or maybe some kind of a status monitor, maybe some kind of an alert. I don't know. But yeah, pretty cool. I like this item. Awesome. Okay, so I saw that slip. It actually left me something here. It says, Dear Hypno, these are not cheaty. Slip. These are not cheaty. What? That looks kind of cheaty to me. I mean, who's got that many blaze rods around here? I don't know. You know, one thing I've noticed about this server is a lot of people have been saying that things are cheaty around here. And speaking about cheaty, it's Mr. Cheaty himself. Mr. Cheaty. Oh my goodness. Okay, so DMAC wants me to sleep. He even acknowledges he's cheaty. DMAC wants me to sleep, so let's go ahead and sleep. So one of the things I've been noticing recently is there's people all the time in the comments, on my videos, on King Daddy DMAC's videos, on a lot of people's videos talking about how cheaty everybody is on this server. Now, is it us being cheaty? Or is it, for instance, you guys just being used to vanilla Minecraft? I'm not really sure. But I don't think anything that we're doing on the server is considered cheaty. Not at all. I really think that we're just using the mods as intended. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Now, everybody's definition of cheaty is different. So I guess the question is, what do you consider cheaty and what do you consider fun? So is it cheaty that DMAC has the quantum armor? Is it cheaty that I have Darkcraft armor? I mean, what exactly would you consider cheaty to be? I mean, 'cause I'm really not sure. I'm curious what people's definition of cheaty actually is. I'm sure everybody's got a way different definition. Some people might say cheaty is going into creative mode and just spawning in a whole bunch of items. I mean, some people might say, you know, it could be using a quarry is cheaty. I mean, I really don't see us doing too many cheaty things on the server other than what's all intended in this mod pack. So yeah, I don't know. It just seems like the amount of people talking about the cheatiness on here is just getting a little out of control, I think. So I just want to make sure everybody's clear that we are not doing anything that's cheaty on the server at all. We are just using the mods as they are. If some people consider that to be cheaty, then that's fine. We aren't doing anything like super cheaty. We're not spawning items in. We're not, you know, duping items. We are just using the mods as they are intended. So, hope that clears up a few things. And let's go ahead and move on to something else. Alright guys, so one of the things that I want to do today is I want to connect my ME system here at the spawn base to my ME system at my tree base and to the ME system over at my B age. So the problem that I'm having right now, for instance, say here at the spawn base, is we're making these dissipation charges, and that requires the royal jelly and the honeydew, and the bees that are making that are over in the B age. So I have to fill up my inventory, take it back here, dump it in the applied Energistics systems, and we're good for, you know, a day or two. And well, depending on how many times it rains and all that stuff. So yeah, that's kind of annoying. Now I know I could do something like hook up, an ender chest over there and pipe items into that ender chest and have some ender chests over here. But that's not really what I want to do. I want to have all of my applied Energistics systems unified. Now, I know Slipgator was messing around with these. I think he was the first one on the server to actually make one. I've been eyeballing them for a while, but I just never got around to making them yet. So what I want to do is do something like he's got. Hopefully I'm not showing anything he hasn't shown you guys. I think we're safe up here. But yeah, he has this thing right here. This is a quantum field ring and a quantum link chamber. And this is a multi-block structure. It is, I think, you need 8 of those quantum or quantum field rings, and one of the quantum link chamber on one side, and you need a matching set on the other side. But what I'm going to do is a little bit more tricky because I want to connect 2 separate locations to the same ME network, which means I'm going to need 4 of those. Okay, so in order to even get started with that stuff, we need to make, what are these things called? It is called a singularity. And in order to make a singularity, we need to get one of these ME condensers. I've already made one, and to do this, it's pretty cheap. Just, glass, fluix, dust, and iron. In fact, that's really inexpensive compared to a lot of the stuff in the ME system. The quantum field rings, I actually never even looked at this yet. Ooh, that's going to be a little pricey. I think I have patterns for everything, so we could technically just do this on a pattern right now and have this auto craft while we do some other stuff. So let's encode that. Do I have an energy cell on auto craft? I might not. Let's make a pattern for that guy. Code. Okay, and then we also need this quantum link chamber. And this requires the fluix pearls, which is, I think we have a pattern for that. Pretty sure those were used for the wireless thing. So let's make a pattern for this guy. And we're going to need 4 of those. And we'll just dump our patterns all in here. Do I have... Actually, I guess I should look to see if we have that fluix pearl. I don't see it on this screen. Ah, it's right there. Yeah, fluix pearl. Okay, so we'll just drop these guys in here. Right, so let's start auto-crafting those. So that was what? That was called a quantum field ring. Yep, we are going to need at least 16 of those just to get one area connected. So let's just do that for now, and we'll build 16 later. Okay, so that can auto-craft. We're going to need 2 of these. Begin. Okay, and so the next step is we're going to need these singularities, and you can't craft these really. There's no recipe for it. You need to get one of these ME condensers, and let's throw this on the ground. Or I guess let's set it down. You need to get one of these ME condensers, and it has a spot to put a drive. It has a spot where you can just shift-click items in, or pipe items in if you want to. You need some kind of a storage cluster, or I'm not sure. That looks like the smallest storage thing. And then it's also got this guy over here where you can destroy items, condense them into matter balls so you can use like these little BB guns or whatever. I've tried these in creative mode and they actually pretty lackluster. So I'm not going to be messing around with those. And then a third option is to do an ME, condense into singularities. And you need 256,000 items. I think that's what it is. At least 256 bytes? I'm not sure. Okay, so we got this guy, and we can see how this works. If I take a stack of cobblestone, drop it in here. Actually, I think I need a drive. Let's see. Storage, I got... I don't have one of those things. It shows a recipe of this one. Can we use this guy? I'm curious. Let me just go and throw one of those in there and see if that works. Okay, well that goes on the slot. So if I put items here, what does this say? Okay, let me put items here. Does that do anything? Okay, well it gave me 64 of 256. So apparently this guy works. We just need some kind of a storage cell in here. I'm pretty sure I've been told that the bigger the storage cell in here, the faster things can go. I'm not quite sure on that. But what I do know is the fastest way to get this accumulated energy... Oh, by the way, I think I just deleted that stuff. Yeah, you got to keep that in there. The fastest way to get this accumulated energy is to fill up like a 64K drive and then dump all those items onto the storage cluster. So I'm going to put in here, and then that should make one of these the singularities pretty quickly. So let's do that. Let me go ahead and build one of the storage clusters. Should have, yeah, storage cluster. Should have that on auto craft, which I do. So that'll take a moment to craft up. I'm not sure if we're actually waiting on that other stuff. Oop, I am out of Fluix crystals. Do I not have those on AutoCraft? I'm actually not quite sure. Cheaty! Cheaty! You can't do anything with those items. If you click and drag really quick, it shows you taking them out, but no, you're not. Okay, so the Fluix crystals is nether quartz, Certus quartz, and redstone. Do I not have that on AutoCraft? I must not, right? Yeah, I don't have that on AutoCraft. Okay, so we'll need to make that pattern real quick. Let's do this. Code. I'm just going to drop that guy right in here. Okay, so the auto-crafting system should be happy. It should be making these energy cells like it wants to. Very good. Okay, so now I can finish crafting the rest of those things. So storage cluster. Oh. Storage block. Oh, it's still crafting, right? Yeah, it looks like it's still crafting this stuff. That's fine. I keep forgetting that this is like the slowest Mac available. It's like 1 CPU in there. So yeah, this is going to take a little bit of time. Come on. Is it done? Oh no, it's almost there. Oh man, let's go, let's go. Okay, well, while that's auto crafting, we need to get ourselves a disk, and we need to partition it so it's only gonna take cobblestone. I don't want to just dump everything on that disk, and we're gonna use an IO port to extract all that cobblestone. Now, I've actually been doing something similar over at my tree base. Let's head there. At my tree base, I have filled up a lot of these drives, and they were getting pretty much full of bones and the other stuff, coal, and everything else that these wither skeletons over here are dropping. So I made one of these IO ports, and I partitioned a drive to take coal. So I took all the coal off these disks, and then I dumped it back in the system onto one of these storage units. This one's got bones in it. This one over here, I think this one's my coal one, if I can click on it. Yeah, we got lots of coal in there. Those were taking up, I think, this entire 16K storage drive full of that stuff. So yeah, all of our lights are green now that we got that off our system. We just have a few items in here taking up 16 different types. So yeah, pretty cool. We are pretty much set up here to dump everything from the spawn base into this system, but we want to get these systems linked up so I have access to my items everywhere. Okay, so we need this MEIO port. Let's grab you. And we're going to take that back to our spawn base. And then we need to grab a partition editor, which I have already crafted like I was talking about. I had to move items in the other area. So let's drop this drive in here. So I had it set up for bones. Let's set that up for cobblestone. So let me grab one piece of cobblestone, stick it right there. Let's go and format this drive. So now it is formatted, partitioned to only obtain cobblestone. And we're also going to need this MEIO port. Let's stick that right here. That should work. We are going to go from the drives, or from our network to the drives, and just go and drop that guy right here. So this is going to fill up with a whole bunch of cobblestone. In fact, we can actually look at the system right now and see all that cobblestone leaving the system, and it's going onto that 64K drive. So what I've been told is that in order to make one of those singularities, it takes about half the amount of space that's on one of these 64K drives to make a singularity. So once this fills up, we'll be back. We'll drop that guy in here in this ME condenser, and we will start working on making one of these singularities. Oh yeah. Be back in a bit. Okay guys, so the 64K drive is now full. Now I realize that we could actually use less cobblestone if we change those cobblestone into, say, cobblestone slabs, because I think those would work just the same in the ME condenser. So yeah, we have a full 64K drive full of cobblestone now. Cobblestone supply is down to 866,000, which is fine. We're going to be getting so much of this stuff from quarrying, not a big deal. So for this condenser, we need that storage block. Let's go ahead and grab this, or the storage cluster. Let's grab that guy. So storage cluster goes right here. This is set for making the singularities, and we will just stick the drive right in here. So this is going to start pulling all of the items off that drive, putting on the storage cluster, and filling up this accumulated energy bar over here. Barely a little bit of red spot on there. It's going to take a bit of time. This drive has to get down to about halfway empty or halfway full, however you look at it, before this bar fills up. So let me go ahead and cut out once again until that happens. Okay guys, so I went ahead and I left that 64K drive in there for a little while, and we ended up making 2 of these singularities. We got a little bit more left on the accumulated energy, and there's still just a bit left on the 64K drive. So you can make 2 of those on a full 64K drive without using all of it, but pretty much all of it. Okay, so what I want to do is take that cobblestone. I don't want to waste it. Let's just go and throw that back into our ME system over here. Dump all that cobble back into our system. Yeah, that's what we want to do. Okay, so that's fine. So now we have 2 singularities. That's great. Each one of these can turn into a, a quantum entangled singularity, I think is what that's called. I don't think you can see it on the screen because you can't craft it. But another thing we do need is this ender pearl dust from Applied Energistics. And it looks like we just pulverize some ender pearls, or we can macerate them, or we can get them from shimmering combs. It looks like that works. Yeah, I think we'll just pulverize a couple of ender pearls. So ender pearls. This is not the same ender pearl dust from the portal gun mod, so we do actually have to craft up 2 more of those. So let's see, pulverizer. Let's go and pulverize 2 of these, get some dust, and then we need to make ourselves some TNT or find some kind of an explosion. Let's see, is it almost nighttime? Well, I was going to say we could go find ourselves a creeper and throw this next to the creeper, but looks like we might have to do it the TNT way. Okay, so tiny TNT. 2 pieces of quartz dust, 2 pieces of gunpowder, pretty easy. Let's go ahead and craft up 2 of those guys, and I need a flint and steel, or I guess how you craft it would be a steel and flint, or iron and flint to be more precise. Let's go and grab one of those guys. Isn't it like this? Yeah, iron and flint. Okay, so there's our flint and steel. Right, so, where to do it? Probably the safest place to do it would be in some water so we don't destroy any blocks. Yeah, I think let's do that. So all you gotta do is drop a singularity and a ender pearl dust, and just put down some tiny TNT next to it so it can make that explosion. And those are going back into my inventory because of my coin of suck. Okay, so let's redo that. Let's go ahead and put down ender pearl dust, one of those singularities, great, and some tiny TNT. Right there should be fine. Right, and let's just go ahead and light that on fire. Well, I guess just right-click it. Oh, that didn't work. Oh my goodness, I'm having so much problems with this. Let's see, put that down, this down. We need the TNT, and there we go. I don't know where it went, but it's not there anymore. Oh, interesting. Oh, I picked it back up. That's what happened. I thought that the water put it out. Oh man, this stuff is interesting. Okay, well let's do it once more, just for fun, since we haven't done this enough already. So let's go ahead and put that down, and we will click that from a little bit. Really? My coin of suck is not on. Oh goodness. Okay, fine. We won't do it in the water. We'll just do it right here on the land then. Because why not? Let's just get this done. But yeah, all you need is 1 singularity, 1 ender pearl dust. Let's go and put that down, and let's step back a little bit. Now that actually does destroy some blocks, but it's not like it makes a crazy explosion. Okay, and there is our quantum entangled singularity. Great. Let's go ahead and do the same thing. Let's just do it once more. And it looks like that actually does destroy the blocks. It doesn't drop any items at all, but it doesn't make too big of a mess, so not a big deal. Okay, so yep, that will happen once more. Great. And there is a second set. Okay, so now we can do the tree to the B area and the tree to my spawn base area. And yeah, we can have everything connected on one single ME network, which is going to be really awesome. Okay, well, let me get a few more things together, and we'll be right back. Okay, so I think the next thing we need to do is take one of these quantum entangled singularities and let's rename it so we know where this one is actually going. So we're gonna stick those here, or we're gonna stick those in the anvil here, And let's just go ahead and rename this. Oh, that costs 10 levels. We'll rename this spawn. I think that's it. Just spawn. Okay, so there we go. That's renamed to spawn. And then I can't rename this one because it's actually 10 levels and only have 9. This one will be for the B area. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to hide this. Well, not necessarily hide it, but put this out of the way down here. Should be fine. Up against the wall, maybe. I mean, we could stick it right here or maybe right here. I'm not quite sure what I want to do at this point. I would like to have room for expansion in case we want to put more MFSUs or whatever on this side. Yeah, let's just stick it over here. I think that'll be fine. So let's do the quantum field rings. I went ahead and made the other ones that we needed. And maybe we should line it up with this guy. So right like that. And then we just got to put this quantum link chamber in the center. And I'm pretty sure, yep, that's all we got to do. Very, very easy. Okay, so if we right click on here, we can put one of these guys in there. Okay, so that's just to spawn. So I got to make a matching one of these and put it over at my tree base. This also has to be connected to this ME system. And I believe this guy needs to be powered. So one thing that you do got to note when you're hooking up on these systems is you can only have one ME controller. So I have an ME controller here, my B area, and on my tree. I got to remove these at the other 2 areas if we're going to have these all connected to one ME network. There can only be one controller. So let me go ahead and build another one of these over at the tree, and we'll be right back. Right, so for temporary purposes, I have hooked it up right over there. I think eventually what I'm going to do is probably build a room right up above the Mac. This room was set up so this Mac could be a 7x7x7. So yeah, I think we'll probably open up a little bit higher and stick that guy in there. Or alternatively, I'm pretty sure I've been told that you can stick those lengthwise, or I guess on its side, so we could stick it down here, and that could be fine too. But for now, I just want to actually test this out. I've never used one of these before. So this is hooked up over here, and we are currently using 207 units. If I disconnect this guy, let's see how many units we use. I don't know if that actually changes until... Yeah, it's still using the same. I don't think that changes until both sides are connected, and we only have the one side, so it's not using any additional power. Okay, so let's head back to the spawn base, and let's see how this works. I'm going to have to remove this controller, and I believe you have to power this guy. I'm pretty sure. Like I said, I've never used this before, so I don't know 100%. Okay, so first things first, let's get rid of the controller. That's gone. So ME system is now dead. Let's hook up a wire connecting our ME system to this guy. This is, again, temporary, just so I know how these things actually work. So that's connected. Do we have power to our ME system? No, everything is dead. Okay, so we have to actually provide the power to this guy. So, power converter. We could run some cables over there. I'm trying to think what would be the best way. Whoa, kind of block. What would be the best way to power that? We got some MG over here. Well, I do have some power converters in my ME system here, so I do have to put back this thing. We can get the power converters going. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so power converter. We need an energy bridge. So I got one of these guys. We will need liquid tesseract. Let's go ahead and make one of those. Should have everything ready to craft to make one. Okay, and then we need a, I don't know, is BuildCraft or EU better? I think I should have some BC. Yeah, I already have some of these BC consumers. Let's switch that over to a BC provider or producer. Great. Okay, so last thing to do would be to hook this thing up. So oh, I didn't grab the steam consumer. That would be helpful. Steam consumer. Okay, so the last thing that we need to do is hook this guy up. And again, I will make everything, more pretty later on. But for now, we are just making sure this is going to work. And I don't know if I can connect to these corner pieces. It feels like I can't. I wasn't able to connect one of these ME cables to a corner, so I don't know if I can power the corner. Okay, so there's this guy. That is the BuildCraft producer. We need energy bridge. We need steam consumer. And finally, we need a liquid tesseract full of steam. And actually, before we do that, I want to disconnect this guy. I don't know what happens if there's two controllers, if they fight, or if it blows things up. I really don't know. Okay, so receive only steam. Go for it. This is powered up. Everything looks pretty in blue. What about over here? What do we got? Oh, we still don't have power for some reason. Unable to communicate with controller. Alright, so what did we do wrong? This is powered up. Whoop. Hey, don't do that. This thing is powered up. So what is wrong? If I take that out, put that back in. Looks like we are fine. We got our cables over here connecting. Okay, well, I'll tell you guys what. Let me figure this out and we'll be back. Okay, guys, so I finally figured out what I was doing wrong. I went ahead and moved this quantum field ring over here. It just seemed like it would take up less space. I might be able to inset it in the wall, and I'm also just using a glass fiber cable to connect it to my main power system here at the spawn base. So a little bit more compact and out of the way. Like I said, I might inset it one into the wall. We'll see. So everything over here was pretty much set up correctly, yet we still don't have power over here. That's because I've disconnected the quantum field ring from this side because I moved it, put it in its own location, and yeah, we still need to hook it up. But I wanted to show you guys this thing before we get everything hooked up. So in order for this to work, we do need this connected to the ME system on both sides, and it also needs external power. I had forgotten to connect the cable over here. I had moved this thing and I forgot to reconnect it. That's why everything wasn't working. But this is the setup we have right now. We have one quantum field ring. This guy right here is going to spawn. This one on this side. This is going to go over to my B area. I still have to set that one up. So yeah, this is all going to be closed off here in a moment. But I wanted to show you guys how this works now. Okay, so let's see. Can I fly a little bit? I don't have a nice good way to get back up here. Okay, am I flying now? There we go. Okay, so I need to connect the wires for the ME system. Right like that. Get rid of this torch and bring this down. Okay, so this needs to actually touch something on my ME system. That should be fine, right like that. And now, back over at my spawn base, we have power. Everything's all lit up because it's seeing the items over, or it's seeing the connection now over at the tree base. So if I come in here, I could see something like coal. Yeah, look at that. We got 673,000 coal. We can see everything from the tree base here, which is very cool. If we come back over here, we should be able to fly up to the very top floor. Actually, I guess I could have used my wireless, but we could come here and see all my spawners and all my stuff from the spawn base. So that is really awesome. Both systems are now connected. So now I just gotta do this one more time, and over at the B area, connect that system up, and then my spawn base will always have all of the royal jelly and the honeydew that it needs to make the anti-rain dissipation charges all of the time. Alright, so let me go hook that up, and we'll be back. So now everything's hooked up. All three of my ME systems are all linked together, so I can access them no matter where I want, or no matter where I'm at, and I can always get what I want. So, for instance, if I wanted a princess of some type, I can get all of my bees from the same ME terminal, which is very, very cool. The problem with the royal jelly, not a problem anymore. 20,000 royal jelly. How about wax? 6,700 wax. Everything that I needed. The honeydew is also available, and the honey drops. That is really awesome. I love being able to connect all the ME systems together, and I think I haven't done it yet, but I'm probably going to move the drives from here over to the tree, and the drives from the B area over to the tree as well. Now, there's one more thing that I wanted to do. Slip has actually now given me 2 gifts, and I haven't given him anything. So now that I have access to my bee stuff, I think it's time that we make a couple of patterns. And what I want to do is give him some ambrosia. So let's do this. I haven't made any of these on the server yet. I made a bunch of them on the previous map before we reset. But yeah, let's go ahead and do this. So we'll encode the pattern to make the wax capsules, and then we'll finally make the pattern to make the ambrosia. Okay, so what I want to do is actually, let's build these over at this base. Since this has got the Mac with a lot of processors, I'm actually not sure how this works. Since I have a Mac in the B age and a Mac at the spawn base, if this uses the processors from all of them, or only the processors that are in the same unit that I am crafting something. So I don't know. But we should be able to go ahead and craft up a bunch of those. So yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Let's do ambrosia. Okay, so there's the thing. And I want to do, I'm actually not sure how many I want. Probably a full chest full, so 27 stacks. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that's a lot. 1,728. You'll probably never go through that many, but let's just go ahead and craft them up. Ooh, that's going decently fast. I would actually like it if it went faster than that. I would have thought with having 20 or so processors in this Mac that would make everything that much faster, but what can you do? Alright, so here we go. Here's a chest full of ambrosia just for Slipgator. Now remember, he gave us that chest full of blaze rods, and he also gave us this really cool Silk Touch pickaxe a while ago that we never said thank you for. So I think this should show our appreciation to him. So let me just go ahead and get a sign. We'll throw that on here. And here, let's see, what are we going to say? Here you go, Slip. 100% non-cheaty. Thank you. That should actually say a 100% non-cheaty thank you. Okay, so there we go. Let me, I don't have any room to actually sign my name with that smiley face. Maybe I'll delete the smiley face. Hip. Yep, hip should be fine. Okay, so there we go. We've repaid Slipgator for his kindness. I hope he enjoys all of the food that he'll ever want on the server. But that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.